You are now listening to the Platinum Achievement Podcast, bringing gamers together from around the world. A PixelPine.com production. Here are your hosts. Stay a while and listen.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to the Platinum Achievement Podcast, where we bring gamers from around the world to have a talk about whatever sort of comes to our mind, whatever might be happening, whatever we're playing, things like that. Today, it's Chris and I. I'm Matthew Keel. This is Chris Har, the busted-ass Lebanese lady killer. How are you, sir?
I have a busted ass.
That's why I said it.
I need people to know.
Okay, so how did said ass get busted?
So, the busting of the ass happened when I was playing paintball, and we played about like maybe 7 p.m. Right, it was dark, and I was sweating. You know, when you sweat, your goggles get all foggy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so I couldn't see very well, and it was night, but I saw that something was moving ahead, you know. I saw something movement, so I'm like, okay, this is the enemy. I was so excited, I'm gonna shoot this guy. So I'm running like crazy, and the terrain is all mud and uneven. Yeah. And while I was running, there was a small cliff which I did not see, and I just fell down on my ass, and it was kind of high. It was like about a half floor high, and I fell on my ass twice.
Wait, so you went back up and went back for more? Is that...
I went back up, and the second round I fell again, but this time another cliff.
You're like, no, I'm not gonna fall again. Whoa!
Yeah, no. While I was falling, I'm like, fuck, not this again. Damn. Yeah, and you know the thing is when I fell down, my headgear came off, and the guys saw me, you know, the enemy, and they were like, "Oh my god, this guy's on the floor, shoot him!" And I don't have my headgear on, I get shot on my neck, and it fucking hurts.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, damn.
I've got many a paintball welt story for you. Paintball's so fun though.
Yeah, I mean, like if you have seen my neck about a week ago, you would see like it's rainbow colored, you know, blue, red, yellow, mm-hmm. all of the colors.
You get some nice purple in there.
Yeah.
Broken blood vessels are really real.
Yeah. So my tailbone was, you know, was bent. For, like a week passed, and I was like, you know what? This pain is not going away. There's something wrong here.
Yeah.
So I went to the doctor, and doctor, you know, said, oh, your tailbone is bent. You have to sit on this donut, whatever. So so it would heal. So if you keep sitting, it's not going to heal. And the problem is, I sit all day in front of computer.
You got a butt donut now.
Yeah, butt donut. So my mom knows this old lady, that she knows how to put back bones. You know, like if you have dislocated shoulder, she knows how to put it back in.
Uh-huh.
And she knows how to, you know, fix tailbone. So I went to her, and I'm not gonna say what she did, but
I'm pretty sure any discerning listener could figure out what she did.
Yeah, exactly. And but when it popped back in, I was like, "Fuck you, bitch!"
Yep. Yep. They're not lying in Lethal Weapon when they pop his shoulder back into place. It hurts.
Yeah,
it's not fun.
It's like this very like heat. It's like this heat. It's like keeps burning and burning. It doesn't stop.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Anyways, but about like 50% of the pain is gone. Now just bruises.
Yep.
Anyways.
Yeah. Now it, like that heat is actually all of your leukocytes rushing to the area to try and fix any possible issues. So like that's what the heat is.
Oh. Well,
you could teach me. You could teach me about computers. I could teach you about the body, son.
You learn something new every day.
So you were at the hospital. Were you at a hospital did you get X-rays done, or what they do?
Yeah.
What they do, like a pelvis and a sack cocks on you? Is that what they did?
I don't know. I was on my back and there was like a machine went through.
Oh, they did. They send you through a CT machine?
I guess. I don't know.
Was it a giant circle?
Yeah, it was a machine.
Oh man, they did a CT for a broken coccyx. Wow, or a dislocated coccyx. That's crazy.
I don't know.
That's crazy.
I don't know. I guess.
Would this all happened today? You gotta leave from the show to go get your butt donut. Have you been playing anything through the pain?
Yeah, I can play because I lie down if I lie down or I stand up, there's no pain at all. The pain is only when I sit down.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, I've been playing a lot of For Honor.
Okay.
And before we get into topics, I just want to say when I see the listen long time on YouTube, people usually stop at 40 minutes, so they don't hear our social handles. So I'm gonna plug them now.
Okay.
Yeah, you should follow us on Facebook, the Platinum Achievement Podcast group. Platinum Achievement Podcast. That's where I mostly am active. You can follow us on Instagram also.
Mm-hmm.
Same thing. And you should follow my Twitter, which is Taporian, TAPORIAN. Okay? And Matt is infinite_rewind.
Yep.
Right?
Mm-hmm. Infinite_rewind everywhere I want to be. And if I'm not there and you're talking to someone named Infinite_rewind, they will send you a dick pic and that won't be me.
It's everywhere, even at your mom's house.
I mean, my mom's a good cook, so I'm there a lot. Actually,
I'm not saying your mom. Saying the list. Oh, wow.
Oh, I'm at the listener's mom's house. Well,
yeah.
I can't be at every listener's mom's house. That's a lot of mothers. I'm only one man.
I know my name is Infinite, but I have a finite amount of love.
I am only one man, and I am not that good of one. Anyway, so you've been playing For Honor.
Yeah.
So are you liking that game?
The game is good, but it has a lot of it has a potential to be one of the best, quote unquote fighting sword game.
Okay.
But it has a lot of issues that Ubisoft just fucking don't give a shit, Well,
because I remember when we had Rough Dog on, you were talking about people are paying to be better and
people are complaining about it.
Mm-hmm.
And they did, and there was a big popular Reddit post that they're gonna boycott the For Honors for April 3rd, and nobody's gonna be online then. And there was around 20k upvotes for the post. So it was going around, and people because they love the game, they want to get better, but it's they feel like it's too nickel diming the fans.
Yeah,
that's why they're upset because I've been playing a lot so I can get the trophies. I have 2 trophies left, which is one that requires for you to deploy a war asset on each round, and each round takes around 40 days. So I just have to wait. Now I have to wait 11 days to get this trophy. Then I have to wait another 14 days so I can get the trophy, which is you have to see your results after when a season finishes. And a season is 5 rounds, and each round is 14 days, like I said. So, yeah. The trophy is a grind, bro. So,
Well, it just seems like you're just waiting.
Yeah.
Do you have to do anything in these days while you're...
No.
So I could literally just deploy, leave, deploy,
leave. Wait 11 days. Yeah. But for you to get to have like 95% of the trophies complete, you would already reach, round 4 by then.
Okay.
Because you have to reach reputation 5 for one hero, reputation 1 for other 2 more heroes, and there's like kill 5,000 soldiers, throw 50 people from a rooftop, or kill people with fire, or the jump on people's head 25 times. There's a lot of multiplayer.
Well, isn't it all multiplayer trophies?
Yeah, most of them. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is there single player in that game? I thought that was
yeah, there is, but it's like it's whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, there's like trophies that doesn't make sense. Like reach level 30 and campaign. When you finish the game and the hardest difficulty, you'd be level 20. It's like, why would I replay this game though? Because there's no added value in replaying a story, because you're not gonna play with another character. There isn't another ending or different endings. It's still the same thing. You play with the same character, same ending, same thing. So that level 30 in campaign is like bullshit. Yeah, those trophies, it's just, if you're gonna make a grind, at least make a worthwhile grind. So if I reach a reputation 5 for a hero, okay, I'll get a better gear or whatever. But this doesn't give me anything at all.
Well, I mean, I haven't played the game. I was super excited for it, but like, due to the games that have come out this year so far, I've completely forgotten about it. Like, that game I've just completely missed. Do you think it's worth going back to at all, or?
There's a lot of connectivity issue. Like yesterday night, at night, I've been trying to play a game. I'm just, every time I get inside the game, they kick you out, and it happens frequently enough to be a problem. I mean, I'll bet you I would have reached reputation 5 a lot earlier if I haven't been kicked out in the game. Okay. And sometimes it's like a big fuck you on the face when you finish the game is done, and you're at the moment where you have to retrieve your points, and your points which levels your character up, and at that moment it says, "Oh, I'm sorry, we couldn't retrieve the information you needed. Fuck you." So it's like you didn't even play the match. There are a lot of connectivity issues. It's annoying. It's annoying, and doesn't seem it did not get better. It's been almost a month and nothing. It's still the same shit. Yeah.
Well, and do you think it could be just taking them a bit, or do you think they're just leaving it in the lurch?
I think they are working on it, but I don't think they're like, because here's the thing, okay? They released an emote which cost an insane amount of steer, which is fine, whatever, it's a fucking emote. But the problem is they keep releasing content for cosmetic that is a money grinding hungry machine, but they're not considering of fixing the multiplayer issues. Fix the gameplay first, then think about your fucking emotes and your fucking cosmetics, which most people don't care. You know what I mean?
I mean, and I know that in games there are things that are known. There are issues that are known when the game is shipped. Do you think this is a situation where they knew about these issues when it was shipped, but fixing them is a lot more difficult than just, I mean, because and about programming and things like that. Could this be a situation where it's actually kind of difficult to fix, so that's what's taking them a bit?
I mean, it's kind of difficult to fix because the way they set up this connectivity, it would be a lot easier if they had dedicated servers. If they have any confidence with the game, they would get some dedicated servers. Mm-hmm. But it's like, nope, we don't believe in our game, so we're not gonna buy some dedicated servers, or You know.
That's what I love about Demon Souls.
Why?
There were dedicated servers in that game.
Oh, was it?
Yep,
It's fucking awesome.
That's why the multiplayer is. That's why whenever Atlas even mentions the idea, like the Souls community freaks out and says, "No, do not shut down Demon Souls."
But they did.
I don't think they have.
I think they did.
They've talked about it like 4 or 5 times.
Oh,
and never done it.
But here's the thing, though: if you believe in your game, invest in it. You know, invest in it, make it better, and people will come. It will get popular. It will get better. You know, I don't understand. Like Battlefield they have dedicated servers, and it's awesome.
Yeah, but and Battlefield started off broke as hell.
Yeah, but now Battlefield 4 became so fucking popular. You know, the people still play Battlefield 4.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like, believe in your game, invest in it, and people will come.
Yeah.
So there's a thing where everybody were complaining about the grind issues, and For Honor that takes about 2.5 years to unlock anything, to unlock everything in the game. So there was
wait, what? Are you talking about in-game years or?
No, real life years. 2.5 years.
Wait, so I have to play the game for 2.5 years to get a platinum? Is that what you're telling me?
No, to unlock everything.
Oh, okay. So the platinum doesn't involve unlocking it.
No. So Ubisoft defends For Honor's controversial progression system. We say, we never intended for you to unlock everything in the game. I'm like, okay. First of all, I want to say...
that's a shitty statement. I'm just going to say it right now.
We never intended for you to unlock everything.
Why make it? Why make it?
Yeah, exactly. Then they say, for us, that doesn't really make any sense. We applied RPG mechanics on top of fighting game and a PvP environment. Let's say in World of Warcraft, you would never try to unlock everything for all the characters. Same thing in a MOBA. First of all, this isn't a MOBA.
First of all, have they met diehards of any of those games?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, those games are life to some people.
Exactly.
Like, and the funny thing is, like, a lot of and it's weird, like, gamers as a whole get painted with some terrible brushes. I'm not gonna detract from that, and I'm not gonna say people that just choose to invest their time in those games are not gamers. But like, there are gamers, and then there are those people. Like, and I'm not trying to be pejorative, but like, I mean, hell, I've gotten to a point in my gaming habits where, like, I'm only playing like 3 or 4 games consistently. And I've gone on record in a couple of places and said, if there was a way that I got Infinite Soul series, I'd never play another game. I never would. Because that sort of checks all the boxes for me. And fucking Ubisoft. Why do they do like, I respect Ubisoft, but Jesus Christ, they do some weird shit.
Yeah.
And I respect them because of some of the weird shit they do. But like, I'm going to put all this stuff in a game that I never intend you to actually see.
That's insane. Yeah.
Okay. Why?
So I want to say, first of all, this isn't an MMO, right? So the war argument doesn't actually work. Like, you're comparing oranges with apples. This is not an MMO, so fuck off. And MOBAs...
No, they're comparing a Lego set with a sophisticated, sculpture. That's what they're doing.
yeah. Like you cannot use that argument. So
exactly,
debunked. MOBAs are free to play. So argument also debunked. It makes perfect sense to have all the content on the disc to be unlocked. The $60 I paid for. I mean, if it was free to play, Okay, I don't have no problem, but I paid $60 for this game, and I intend to unlock stuff in it. You know, it's not free to play like a MOBA. How can you say it's a MOBA? It's not.
Well, is every MOBA out there free to play?
I mean, the popular ones are.
Okay.
Like the way MOBA, I mean, I think there are some which is you have to buy it, but they're not popular enough. So the way the system that a MOBA stigma has now, that the free to plays are gonna work, you know, and that's not a problem. Doesn't mean that it removes any quality from it. It can be a really quality game like a Dota or League of Legends or Smite. You know, those are very popular and they make a lot of money, but they are free to play.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. Then they said, we forecasted that most players would play 1 to 3 characters. And that's what we see today in our game. Most players focus on one character, one hero, and others go up to 2 or 3 heroes. All of the design is based around that. Okay, first of all, because the what I said is that the progression you build to progress with the character takes too fucking long. You know, we don't have 2 weeks to spend religiously to reach where our main reached. So we just stick to one character. You guys said it's a fighting game. You know, they said that it's a fighting game. People do have a main, but they do play with other characters. You know, it's like. Okay, here's the thing though. When you're playing a Dominion, and characters who are leveled up, they have better gear, and it's so frustrating to reach to reach your characters because you're gonna get owned. You're gonna get owned until you get better gear. So you be like, fuck this, I'm gonna go back to my main, because the progression is so fucking slow that I don't want to spend another 3 weeks so I can get where I am with my main. So I just stick with one hero. You know, it's not because, oh, that's what we, forecasted. Fuck you. It's not about what we forecasted. It's how you determine the road, how you build the game that made the players go on this set of progression. You didn't give them the bigger option. Because the progression is so slow. I don't want to waste 3 weeks of my life so I can start having fun with the game because my gear is shit. Or I just buy steel and get better gear. You know what I mean?
Now, this is... Is there a chance... Is it like playing, and walk with me on this before you completely dismiss my question. Is it like playing a Dark Souls where you don't have to have the same stuff? Like you could can tactics give you any edge over somebody who has better gear?
No.
At all? Like
no.
it's just
I mean
like let's pretend, for an example, I'm one of the samurai in the game.
Okay.
And I'm relatively new. Okay. I've played a few matches. I am a player who has gotten used to the combat. Okay.
Okay.
Now I'm playing one of the knights, who is seasoned. Like I'm playing you as a knight, Chris. Now. Because
I'll play as a Viking, but
whatever. I'm just walk with me on this.
Okay.
I'm playing you as a knight, but like let's just say, I'm the only one actually hitting you, and every swing you take misses me. Am I ever gonna beat you?
No. Here's why. Okay. Because I'm getting get hit. Okay. So what this does, if you have a gear that says gain revenge by injury. So I'm getting hit. I'm not aiming to hit you, right? Mm-hmm. Well, not even one hit. Mm-hmm. That's not a problem. My revenge.
Your life will never actually decrease.
No. My life will decrease, but my revenge bar increases.
Okay.
Then I can hit revenge. What this does is that it will drop you down on the floor which you can't do anything. You're on the floor. It takes a couple of seconds for you to get up. So while you're on the floor, if I have a high attack, I can just hit you once. I can hit you twice and you'll be dead.
Wow, that's shitty.
Yeah, you cannot even... it's an unblockable move.
That's real dumb.
Yeah.
Like, that is severely unbalanced.
Yeah.
I can actually say that
there's three heroes who are so fucking unbalanced.
Why is it? What motivates a player who missed this when it came out? What motivates a player to play this? Like, honestly, based on what you're telling me, I don't want to play this because it's just going to be me pulling my hair out.
Exactly. It's going to be frustrating as hell. And even if you have revenge, okay? So here's the thing. I have revenge on, and let's say you did not fell on the floor, okay? You did not. But I have my revenge on. I'm now revenged. I have my revenge meter on, and it's on, and it's, I'm using it. While you're hitting me, so if there's no revenge, okay? Mm-hmm. You hit me, I get staggered, I cannot hit back. Okay? But when I have revenge on, if you hit me and I have my revenge on, I can hit you back at the same time. So you cannot get away. And my attack is so high that you will die in one overhead or maybe one and a light attack.
That's not a fighting game anymore.
But honestly, if both of you have good gear, then no, it can be, it can be a fun match between two of you.
Right, but
if someone who is new, yeah, it's shitty.
And like, if this were a fighting game, that prerequisite goes away. Like that, like this seems dumb.
I mean, it's a fighting game. If it's okay, so there are the elimination mode and the Dominion mode and the Conquest mode, okay? Skirmish, sorry, not Conquest. Skirmish. All of these three are gear-based. And there are other modes who are dual mode, which is 1v1, that no gear has any related to it. So it's based on skill alone.
Okay, and now can you use that other mode to level up?
Yeah, you can, but here's the thing though, it's so slow.
Okay.
So if let's say if you do Dominion, you get an XP about 2000 XP, but if you do 1v1, which is frustrating as hell, you get about maybe 300 XP. So it's so slow to do 1v1, so you go to Dominion.
Well, so if you go to Dominion and just get your face handed to you every chance you get, are you gaining any experience?
You're gaining any experience, but not as much as
if you win.
Yeah.
I don't know. It seems. I mean, I'd have to see like actual ratios, but it just doesn't. What you're telling me does not make me interested in playing that game anymore.
Yeah. So that's the problem that people have with the game, because the way they built it, it's so shitty. Then they said that cosmetic items are end game. That's what the Ubisoft said. Okay, here's my question. What end game? There's no beginning. There's no beginning. The end game content are the cosmetics to unlock. I mean, if you finish the campaign, you don't unlock anything. We didn't unlock anything beforehand. What do you mean? The characters? I mean, the characters are the end game content? Are the maps the end game content? What is the end game content that aren't microtransactions? What is the thing that lets me unlock without microtransactions? What are the end games? There's no end game content. You know what I mean? He said cosmetic items are end game. What do you mean? There's no beginning. There's no end. It's a multiplayer game. What end game? This isn't World of Warcraft where you level up to level 100, where the end game is to get better gear. There's no end game. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, fuck that. Then they said, so yes, those items are harder to access, but at least everything is grindable, which we think is a good idea. Dude, 2.5 years. I've been playing this game religiously every day for 3 to 4 hours, and I'm not. and I'm like maybe 30% to unlock everything on my main. 3 to 4 hours every day.
And the game's been out almost a month.
Yeah. So. Yeah. So I want Ubisoft to stop justifying their nonsense. Because it is. Because people see it. People saw it, and it was a problem enough that people are gonna boycott this game. But when I talked with Ubisoft, they said, they have the same currency as Rainbow Six Siege. What are you talking about? I played Rainbow Six Siege, and I think the microtransaction over there is fairly fair. It's not fair to I'm satisfied fair, but it's okay. But it's not as grindy as this game.
Okay.
So they don't understand the concept of microtransactions. It's like, what is the point for me to just play the game without me, having some cool shit? So for me to have a cool shit, I have to play 5 hours per day for 1 month so I can unlock this one fucking costume. Fuck off,
I'm with you there.
Yeah. I paid $60 for this game. He's saying, oh, no end game. The end game content are the fucking cosmetics. Anyways, that's everything I have to say about For Honor.
All right.
I'm frustrated about it because I actually do like the game, but it's how they handled everything with it.
I mean, it seems like they're still handling it poorly, so...
Yeah.
I don't know.
Anyways. Yeah.
Well, I actually wrapped up Persona... I keep saying Persona. I'm so excited
for that game. You're so excited.
I'm so excited for that game. I wrapped up...
I'm so excited. I was so excited about that game that yesterday I watched... Persona movie 1 and 2, Persona 3. There's 4 of them, so I'm gonna finish 3 and 4 today.
Did you watch Persona 4, the series?
Yeah, it's okay, but the movie is so good. Persona 3, the movies, the first 2, they're really good. You should watch them.
I need to watch those. I've played Persona 3. I love Persona 3.
Yeah.
But I've never watched those. I've watched both seasons of 4, and I think that. That's how you adapt a video game to the screen.
It's done fairly good. It's not bad.
Anyway, but no, I wrapped up Horizon Zero Dawn, and I'm gonna go on record saying that I've been you have heard me say that video game writing is very poor. I actually think the writing in Horizon might be a new standard.
What?
Now, hang on before you misinterpret everything I just said. I'm not saying it is the new greatest story in video games or anything. I think it's just a new standard because there are look at... I was talking with a friend of mine yesterday, my friend Ahmed, and he was like, "But what about
the terrorist?"
No, he's not a terrorist. He's a nice guy. He's
you don't know the puppet Ahmed, the dead terrorist?
Oh no, I know that, but this is not this. I was not talking to the puppet. I was talking to a guy I know in Ireland.
First of all, I can make that joke. I'm Middle Eastern, so fuck off all of the listeners who can say,
That's fine. Yeah. And plus, you were talking about Ahmed from whatever that guy's... What's his name? That guy's Spark of Insanity video or whatever. No, I know what you're talking about. He was asking me about it, and I just said, I think it might actually be a new standard in video game writing. He's like, but what about Last of Us? And I'm like, Last of Us is probably the standard bearer in terms of dealing with emotional writing, whereas this is a new standard in dealing with, I don't want to say intellectual, but abstract. I think it's actually probably the most one of the more sci-fi written games in game history.
Have you played Mass Effect?
I played the first one. Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
Now, Mass Effect. What I mean by sci-fi is I don't mean that it because you could obviously level but it takes place on Earth. That doesn't mean it's not science fiction.
There's fucking the dinosaur robots. It's fucking science fiction.
Yeah, but you know, like most people attribute science fiction with space and Star Trek and Star Wars, and it has to be on another planet, and it has to be aliens, and
that's not true. True.
But I'm just saying. I'm saying most people attribute that. Like those are like when people like people look at sci-fi the way people look at gamers. We're all people who are just stuck in our parents' basements and drinking Mountain Dew and eating Doritos, whereas science fiction is always in space. It has to have a spaceship. It has to be on another planet. You know, and it's just stupid, dumb ways to perceive things.
Sorry, what did you say? I wasn't listening. I was asking my mom to bring me some Doritos and Mountain
That's
Dew.
totally fine. You know, tell her to bring me some too. But
she can't hear me. I'm in the basement. Mom!
More Hot Pockets! I like the fact that this game tackles what it tackles the way that it tackles it. And it's not like... We could talk about there are some tropes.
Tropes? What do you mean as tropes?
There are some it's definitely the one hero to save the world, which is kind of dumb. It is the everyone knows who that hero is and everyone hates that hero until they realize, this hero is actually all right. So
it's like Naruto.
They try and absolve their earlier hatred for said hero.
Yeah. You're describing Naruto.
Yeah, like okay. I've never seen Naruto, so but I think there are necessary tropes that need to exist in order to bring an audience in. And the way that Horizon deals with these tropes, I think it's pretty masterful. And all that being said, there is a possibility that this might not be my game of the year, despite I seem like I'm talking that it is my game of the year. This game is special. And when you actually finish it, Chris, I think we should do a spoiler cast.
Sure.
I mean, that is if you're up for it, because you could definitely come away from it going, nah, it's kind of dumb, Matt. I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe. I don't know. I haven't finished it. Aloy seems like a cool chick, so...
I think Aloy deals with her situation in a very intelligent way, and I think the way that she deals with her situation was written intelligently by Guerrilla, and goddamn, like I mean I did not like the Killzone games. I liked Killzone 1 the most.
Really? Most
yeah.
people like Killzone 2 the most.
Yeah, most people like Killzone 2. I thought Killzone 1 had it had a lot. I mean, it was a lot like Mass Effect for me, where I thought Mass Effect had a friggin' masterful setup, and I thought that game was perfect. So much so that I never went back and played it. I never played 2 or 3, and I'm probably not going to play Andromeda. But like Killzone 1 had, and it was because I played Killzone 1 and then I didn't like Killzone 2. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to stick with my love for that thing, and I'll just carry that with me. I'm okay. But I thought Killzone 1 had some really cool. It had some cool writing in it, despite not being a well written as a whole. But yeah, how far are you in Horizon, Chris?
And I don't know. I'm like level 30, 35.
Okay, so
39,
you're
39.
you're far enough.
Yeah. But I haven't been playing the story, so I'm just collecting shit.
Oh yeah, then no, that's what I did too. I was like by the time I got done collecting everything, I was so over leveled and walked through the rest of the story.
Yeah. So the way what I remember, the last thing I reached the story is where I go to this bald guy's apartment where I have to inspect.
Oh, you're
something.
still in Meridian.
Yeah. So it turns out that his kid and wife were adopted.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
Yeah.
You don't need to go any further.
Yeah.
I know exactly where you're at, and I think from because I was probably about the same level you are when I decided I was going to finish the story, and I basically got to the point where, like, you're kind of at that point where the story starts to take off, in cool ways.
Okay. Cool.
Or at least in cool ways to me. You might get to it and be like, Matt, this is kind of bullshit, but whatever.
No, it's interesting enough. So I want to know what happened with this dude. So, yeah.
And yeah, I think that.
But I still think Persona 5 is gonna be our game of the year.
What I'm hearing about that game. Like I need to get my life in order before I play that game because like I haven't seen any of the super recent trailers for it, but the first two that I saw, I'm like I don't even have to argue. Like, that game is day one.
Yeah.
Goddamn one.
Yeah.
And actually Ahmed brought it up because he and I gush about Persona. What is it with you Middle Easterners in Persona? But we were talking and he was like, have you looked at any reviews? And I'm like, no. He's like, people are saying, like, people that don't even like JRPGs are giving it 10s. And I'm like, and I had some things to say about that because if a good game is a good game, it doesn't matter what genre it is. And if a good game is a good game, it doesn't matter what genre it is. The reason being,
I mean, you can say you can acknowledge the game is good, but doesn't mean you have to like the game.
Exactly. Like,
yeah.
when we talk about, like, when you go on one of your Final Fantasy things, like, I'm not going to sit here and shit all over Final Fantasy because I don't like it. But I will acknowledge that some of those games have actually propelled gaming forward. And I would be stupider than I already am if I didn't acknowledge that. Persona 5 looks to be another notch, another special notch on the belt of 2017, which is turning out to be a very special year in games.
Yeah. The early 2017 has been insane.
It's been better. It's been better than, like, most of 2016.
Yeah, like we had Neo, we had Yakuza 0, we had Nier.
Nier looks. Oh man, Nier looks fucking crazy.
And got really good reviews, and Zelda.
Nintendo finally decided. Like, I've been playing Zelda. Nintendo has finally decided to step into the ring of the big boys.
Yeah. What I hate about...
In terms of gameplay, maybe not horsepower or output, fuck all that shit. Yeah. But Nintendo has finally said, all right, you want an adult game? Here's an adult game.
Yeah. So, but here's the thing about Nintendo, though. I know I'm going to get pitchforked by this because it's Nintendo, it's my childhood, don't touch it.
At least don't touch it in a bad way because that makes you a Catholic priest. Oh, I said it.
Oh, damn. But you know what I mean, right? Because I feel like Nintendo gets a lot of pass.
Oh, their fans definitely give them... I mean, I gave them a pass for a long time until I stopped drinking the Kool-Aid.
Yeah. Because for example, like Nintendo is like, oh, this is a new way of gaming, or it's a step forward into the future of gaming. No, it's not. This is welcome to 2009, Nintendo. Welcome to 2009. It's not a step forward. As a company, they get step forward, but not into the gaming world, because there's nothing revolutionary in Zelda.
In Breath of the Wild?
Yeah.
You're right. There's nothing revolutionary.
I mean, open world.
But see, here's what they're doing. Here's what Breath of the Wild does. It basically cribs from a myriad of gaming landmarks over the last 15 years. Basically, over the period of time between now and when Wind Waker came out, Zelda has looked at what has happened since and said, okay, it's time we do something that's not another Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, but it's not Mario 64, which changed, how platformers work.
Well, actually, true.
It's not Ocarina of Time. Yeah, some people are saying that's what Breath of the Wild is. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not. It's a great game. It's an awesome game. I'm not gonna say that, but it's not this revolutionary game that's going to change everything. No, it's not. It's not the standard.
I'm not saying it's doing something new, because that would be false. However, it's referencing games of the past decade and a half, and doing the best of what those things did better than a lot of them are doing now.
I agree.
And but see, now here's the rub: the fact that is a Nintendo game doing that.
Yeah, that's why people are saying this stuff,
Yeah, I mean, that's when you get, everybody that buys every game on 3DS going, see, Nintendo's the best! Nintendo's the best! No.
Suck on Nintendo's dick!
This is, honestly, this is the best. This might be the best open world game I've played in the last 10 years, but it's not my favorite.
Yeah.
This game is doing things that I've always wanted games to do. And I found games that have done that a few times. And the fact that this game is doing so much of it and still being confined in the trappings of a Zelda game, that's amazing to me. Now, I will say this. Had this been a brand new IP from Nintendo, this conversation is completely different.
As a good way or bad way?
It's in a good way. This conversation is something like, oh my God, Nintendo brought a new thing. And then, then there's that, and then it's a new thing that is new, and Nintendo is doing a leap forward technologically with their gameplay systems.
Splatoon open world.
But what I'm saying is this becomes is this pushing gaming forward because it's a new IP, which is unfair. Now, Chris,
Horizon is a new IP, and I feel like I don't think they pushed anything further, but they perfected everything.
So, I think Horizon perfects the Far Cry formula really well. It does the Far Cry thing in third person better than Far Cry does. However, it's still held back by open world bullshit. Because, for example, it's annoying to look at the map and just see a cascade of icons that you can never really get to go away. That annoys me to no end. I don't even know why it annoys me, because I like getting trophies, I like getting platinums, so naturally I'm going to want to get all of those icons, but usually, at least in Far Cry, when you climb a tower, that tower's gone. The map is revealed and that tower is no longer seen on it.
Yeah, I understand.
Same with like Assassin's Creed. That tower is gone and the map is open and you have checked that box.
Because we are completionists.
Yeah, but like I also think the amount of collectibles that are there is the right amount, rather than too much.
Yeah, exactly.
And if that combat was not that I will probably, despite the fact that I've platinumed Horizon, I will probably continue to play Horizon because I finished the Ancient Armory quest. I'm not going to go into much more detail than that, but it makes me want to go in and just run around and just beat stuff up because I finished that quest.
Okay.
And because the combat in that game is so fun. It's so smart. And I was thinking about you the other day as I was wrapping it up. I was like, you know what? Chris talks about Monster Hunter.
Exactly. I
feel
told
like
you would like Monster
I feel
Hunter.
like there's some Monster Hunter here.
There is.
And there are rumors of a new Monster Hunter game coming to the Switch. So I'm thinking that if that actually happens this year, I will buy a Switch and I will play.
Oh my God.
I will play Monster Hunter.
You play with me.
Of course.
Yeah.
If there's a way we could play co-op in that game, I will gladly play with you. By the way,
Monster Hunter is built on co-op.
Okay, I never played it, so calm down. Slow your roll. By the way, I do want to say I love the fact that you are playing Dark Souls 3 with Moose right now. I love that you did that. That when he told me he was playing with you, I'm like, man, this makes me happy.
Why wouldn't I play?
I'm not saying you wouldn't do it, but it's for some reason when he and I talk just about every day, and he said, "Yeah, I'm playing Dark Souls 3 with Chris Har right now." I'm like, "That's awesome." I'm jealous because I'm sitting here at work, but that's awesome. Just made me happy. You made me happy, Chris. Deal with it.
Okay. Awkward feelings right now.
Yep. I made Chris feel.
No feels, please.
But like I just love. I love shoot. I don't even like the act of like. I feel like one of those bullfighters that is just. I sort of get the rush of it because you're sadistically just wearing that bull down and it's kind of barbaric. But at the same time, these machines, I like shooting components off of them. I like to see how much I can take off of them before I just use my spear to kill them. Like it's there's something so cool about that, and I feel like an asshole saying it and articulating it like that, but they did something special with Horizon. Horizon's really good.
Bro, you're gonna love Monster Hunter even more. I'm not saying you're more than Horizon, but as fighting the monster, you're gonna love it. Because it has the same concept, but first of all, there's no life bar. So the way you would see a monster getting hurt is the way they limp around. You know, they limp.
Mm-hmm.
And
I get the monsters in Horizon to limp all the time.
Yeah, but it's like it's the same. It's the same concept. It's like there's this dragon that flies around. So if you can cut off his wings, or you can cut off a body part where he can stop breathing fire, or you can make him you remove his armor so he can stop doing his damage. So it's awesome. And some fights even like every big monsters can even take up to an hour to finish. Because it's like a big boss fight every time. It's awesome. It's great.
Awesome.
Love it.
That sounds cool.
Yeah, we're gonna have to play it co-op.
I will play that co-op with you. It'll probably only be on weekends, but I will play that co-op with you.
Yeah, I'll just play on the weekends with you. I don't even like playing Monster Hunter alone. It's the most boring game to play alone, but it's the most fun game to play with friends.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Because Yeah, it is. It is. I actually don't like Monster Hunter as a single player game, but I love Monster Hunter as a multiplayer
I hate
game.
Monster Hunter unless they're friends.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird, right? It's weird, but that's true, you know.
But I do want to talk about one other thing that I am playing right now. I am playing Dark Souls 2, Scholar of the First Sin on PS4.
Why? Please play Neo. Why are you playing Dark Souls 2? Play Neo.
Well, the guy I've mentioned a couple of times in this podcast, Ahmed, he just recently got his PS4, and I was saving that for him. So I'm going to get that platinum again. Scholar of the First Sin is really good, by the way.
I don't think I can go back to Dark Souls 2. I feel like it's too slow now.
It's hard. We've had our difficulties coming off of playing so much Bloodborne, but it's not the dark. I'm not gonna say it's definitely Dark Souls 2. Let's get that out of the way. But it's not the Dark Souls 2 you remember, and I like that about it. Like I'll talk. I mean, I'll talk about we've gotten to where we've beaten the Last Giant, the Pursuer, Old Dragon Slayer, and the Dragon Rider. And
Did you kill Pursuer? Which time? There's like 3 times you can encounter the Pursuer. Once where he drops off on your head. Another time where he's on the top of the floor where the Last Giant is. And there's another time the Last Pursuer where he is in this area where everything is on fire. I forgot the volcanic area. I forgot.
We did in his world. We did it the first chance he drops, where he's on that platform where the people are throwing fire bombs at you.
Oh, so you didn't die?
Well, he didn't die. I died in mine,
and he was able to kill him because if you die. He won't show back up.
Yeah, he won't show back up. Yeah, no, I know. And then I went to where he normally is and whooped his ass there.
It's easy. You can just crossbow him. There's crossbows on.
We were trying to set that up just because we never really did it the first time we played through it. Yeah. But like Ahmed is really good at parrying and I'm not. So he's like, here, I'll just parry him. He parried him like 5 or 6 times. But every time he like backed away so I couldn't shoot him. So we ended up just whooping him, the actual way. And then that game is not the game you remember because enemies are placed differently and there are more of them. Now, or at least there are more of them in certain places. You remember like when you remember the Forest of the Fallen Giants at all?
Yeah.
You remember when you get to a point where you climb a ladder into a clearing and then all these guys just sort of get up and sort of swarm you? And there's this one like white knight that just sort of sits there.
Oh yeah, exactly. Yes.
That knight is not there anymore.
What? If you kill him, you get an awesome weapon.
Yeah, he's not there anymore.
Fuck.
He's not there, but then there are more of the grunts that show up to mess up your day. But that knight is called a Hyde Knight, and those knights are now peppering Hyde's Tower of Flame, where you go to fight the old Dragon Slayer and the Dragon Rider. And when you walk by them, they just sit there. They're like, yeah, I'm not interested. I'm good. But when you beat the Dragon Rider, it angers all of them. And now you're walking.
You killed my pet dragon, you motherfucker.
Well, and then you have to fight them on top of those giant old knights that are in the area, and all of them are equally dickheadishness. So you're headed towards where the old Dragon Slayer is. Oh, but guess what's there now? A fucking dragon. And now that you've killed his buddy, he's pissed off that you're showing up to go after the guy who's trying to kill him anyway, because he's a Dragon Slayer. And you're running. You have to run across the bridge as he's breathing fire at you, just so you can get to a point where you can fight him. And all of a sudden, I am in love with the game again.
Cool. I remember one thing that I remember that I had really hard time with Dark Souls 2 is the Ancient Dragon. Holy fuck!
Oh yeah, that guy's a dick.
That ancient dragon one shots you with his fucking AoE fire breath. He flies away like his fire breath is so the AoE is so fucking large that you have to go naked and run. And hope to God that the fire doesn't touch. If it does, you're gonna die. You're gonna burn to smithereens.
Yep.
Yeah, I hated the fighting the ancient dragon. He was, oh my god, one of the worst bosses I ever played.
Well, it was just like if you did it right, you could get it to where you could get that one hit that just takes a shit ton of his life away, and then you had to worry about staying alive the rest of the time just so you could get those tiny hits in so you could kill him.
Yeah, exactly. Like, come down. Like, nope.
But see, it was really funny yesterday when we started playing it because he and I are both going, man, this is the fucking worst of these games. Why did they remaster this one? And then once we both like took out the old Dragon Slayer, we're like, yeah, we're kind of back. This game is real good. I love Dark Souls. I'm sad it's gone. But now I get to play 3 again with him too. So
or you can play Neo.
This is true. Neo's a fucking good game. I haven't beaten near enough of Neo, so I need to do that too. Which I don't think I'm gonna play Persona 5 day one because of that. Because I had the game for like 2 weeks now, Persona 5. Mm-hmm. And it's like it's standing next to me. I'm like, I don't want to play it. I don't want to. It's not like I don't want to play it. The thing is that you need it to be right.
No. It's like I'm shipping my collector's edition, and if I open this box and I have to pay for it, and I'm like, I don't want to pay $60. Then pay the collectors, then pay the shipping. So I'm just waiting for my collectors to come.
Yeah, I missed out on the collectors.
Yeah,
I might actually go back around and see what the resale prices on that are. Hopefully they're not too extortionate. I might actually pick one up.
If you get the normal collection, you're gonna get the cool decal. I want the decal. Yeah, there's a cool decal for your joystick, and it's actually really cool. And I want it. And doesn't come with the collectors. I'm like, fuck. And I'm asking my friends around, who got Persona? I want the decal. I'll pay for you. I pay for it. Give me the decal.
And they're like, nah, dog.
Yeah, nah. I'm trying to convince this guy who doesn't like Japanese games and doesn't like RPGs to buy it. I know that he's gonna hate the game. I'm like, I don't care. I when I get my decal, you can like fuck off, dude.
Hey, thank you for my sticker. Enjoy the game, you asshole. Meanwhile, I got a decal. I'm super excited for that game. Probably not only because it's a Persona game, but because I'm excited to hear Shoji Meguro's music.
Yeah, it's awesome. All of their musics are awesome.
Like I love him as a composer, and I love the just the versatility he demonstrates as a video game composer, because he's definitely cribbing from like movie soundtracks or movie scores, I'll say. But he's also such an adept pop songwriter. And I cannot wait just to hear what happens. Hopefully we get a Persona 5 Golden too, just to add to it. That'd be great.
On the Vita.
Yeah.
That's
Probably
never
not.
gonna happen.
It'll be on Switch. No, I'm kidding.
I'll never play on Switch.
I would, What are your thoughts on the Switch, Chris? I don't think we've really had this conversation. Do you want to save this for another time?
I don't have the system. I'm gonna buy it next week.
That's why I'm asking, because I don't have the system either.
My thought is that I'm going with the mindset that this is going to be my handheld gaming.
Yeah.
I'm not going with the mindset that it's gonna be my main console. It's gonna be whatever the fuck. Nope. It's gonna replace my Vita. It's gonna replace my 3DS, and that's how I'm gonna play it. Like I play a lot of on my 3DS, and I play a lot from my Vita, but it's been like 5-6 years. It's time to move on. I need a new handheld, and that's what the Switch is gonna be for me.
I mean, all they need is Spelunky on it. I would love for Spelunky to be on Switch.
I mean, they
have Binding of Isaac, so.
Yeah, I feel like the Switch. I'm hearing that the Switch is selling really well, which is great. I'm really happy for them, but if they're gonna continue with selling it really well, I think they have to go with the mindset of this is a handheld first, then a console.
Yeah, well, like Nintendo is messaging it as like, oh, well, this is a home console. But I think anybody who plays games the way you and I play games, we're like, nah, dude. And to a point, yeah, the Switch is a home console because you can play it at home on your TV or you can play it handheld. It can be construed as a home console. But what ticks me off is they're like, oh, well, if it's a home console, how come it's not as powerful as my PS4?
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I'm like, that's not what that... PS4...
I mean, it's the most powerful handheld, but it's the weakest console.
PS4 is not the definition of a home console. Like, you don't look up home console in the dictionary and it just says PS4. Or Xbox One, or whatever side of that weird line you decide to be on. It is a system you can hook up to your TV, sit down with a controller, and play video games on. That's a home console. Just if you are so worried that you can't play 4K on it, you can't play it's not 1080 at 60, which at the best of times PS4 isn't 1080 at 60.
Most of the time.
Yeah, but like,
it's not.
If you're that worried about it, why are you even entertaining buying a Nintendo Switch? Why are you entertaining buying a PS4 and Xbox One? There's one system that does it all the time, every day you want it. It's called P-fucking-C. If you're that worried about horsepower, get out of this console race. You don't need to be here. Because there's a winner every time.
Yeah, but
and
people
it's PC.
But it's like people, they don't want to get into the PC, rigmarole. What do you say it?
You said it perfectly. And
yeah.
to those people, I say, then stop your bitching.
Yeah, but I don't want to start. I don't want to learn new things. I don't want to appreciate.
Yeah,
I want to,
like, oh, I got my PS4 Pro. So, or, I have to play Horizon on PS4. Like, I had this discussion with Ahmed. He's like, oh, I'm going to wait till I get my PS4 Pro to play Horizon. I'm like, why? It's not going to make the game any better. The gameplay's phenomenal. And he's like, shut up, Chris. You and I had this debate. We're not having it again. And I said, okay, you tell me when, your PS4 Pro adds new buttons and new game mechanics that are special. And then, we'll talk.
I can see stuff in 4K. Eyelashes in 4K.
Banana and out. What do you say we end this?
Yeah, sure.
We've been going for like an hour 10.
Yeah.
I think we did some good here.
Yeah.
You?
I agree.
All right.
I want to talk about a bit of Mass Effect, but
What do you want to? Do you want to just shit on the silly facial animations too?
No, I don't want to shit on the silly facial animations, but I just want to say that Mass Effect 2 and Mass Effect 3, they didn't have really good animations either, but it wasn't noticeable because it was on Unreal Engine 3. The graphics were on a point where even if you give them like realistic animations, it's not gonna look weird because the graphics aren't that good. But the more realistic we get, the more you have to focus on the animation. You know what I mean? Because let's say if you take like a 8-bit Mario, you know, if you give him a smile or a sad face, there's not much to work on because there's not enough of the realism on his face. But the more realistic you have to get, the more specific you have to get with the facials, and different kind of people with facials. But because Mass Effect Andromeda is an open world RPG, they cannot give a facial animation for each character. So what they do is they build an algorithm, and let's say when someone is in a happy emotional state, that algorithm that shows the happy emotional state goes there and it gets triggered. But because it's on Frostbite engine and because the graphics are more realistic, it comes off weird. That's why when I think that's the problem they've been having, that they didn't really build a very good software for it, and they didn't have enough more animation. Animation sets for different aliens. Because when people say, "Oh, The Witcher 3 has better animations," I mean, yeah, it does. But as when it goes to graphics, as in facial, it's not as good as Andromeda when it comes to the realism. But it works better on The Witcher because it's not as realistic with the skin tones or the skin colors and the all the small intricate details. I'm not sure if I'm making any sense.
No, you're making sense. I was actually going to say, I'm like, well, having just finished, there are a couple of moments, like I think adult Aloy, her smile is significantly less creepy.
Yeah.
But it has some creep to it. There's some creep to it, but but like child Aloy looks like is horrifying when she smiles.
Exactly. Yes.
And that is because creating an artificial human face to look realistic has to be one of the most difficult things in the world to do.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I mean, I've had I've had friends who are therapists, and and I've had friends who have looked into certain things as such for whatever reasons, and it is completely impossible to replicate the human smile for multiple, more than two reasons, but because there are different smiles for different occasions. There are different smiles from different moments, and those differences vary infinitely. So even you and I could look at a picture, a stock photograph of a man and woman who are smiling, and they genuinely look happy. But because we don't know those people, we don't know what kind of happiness they have. So that is why, the logic center of our brain says, oh, well, they're posing for a stock photo, so they have to look happy.
Yeah, and I get what he's saying. So,
and creating that sort of thing from nothing, the way Mass Effect does, I'm sorry. The fact that they get as far as they do is an achievement in itself. And it would be easy for anybody to sit there and go, oh, the facial animations suck. lazy developers. And that's just because they've never sat down to think about what exactly goes into a human smile or an alien's. And then you have to change it because there are aliens in Mass Effect.
Yeah, so you don't know how an alien smile is.
So you have to create an entirely different set of circumstances out of nothing. So
yeah, exactly. I'm not trying to give them a pass.
Oh no, I don't think you are. I don't think you're trying to give them shit either. I think you're just trying to say, look, this is what I know, this is what I think. And that's fine.
Yeah. So that's what I'm trying to say. I mean, it's really hard, but I feel like they could have maybe put more effort into it, at least in the main quest where the main stuff happened. They could have, let's say, okay, the side quest, who gives a shit, but let's say, I mean, not that much who gives a shit, but I feel at least that the main quest had more, focus on it. That's what I'm trying. I think that should have, what they could have done. Like, but if some people say, oh, but Uncharted has amazing facial animation, but Uncharted, it's a story set. It's a set of stories. 1, 2, 3, 4. So they know what's gonna happen. They know what's the emotional thing is gonna happen, and its set of characters is limited. Not as like Mass Effect, where you have not thousands, maybe hundreds of characters, and you have to give animations for each person. That's insane. You cannot. That's why you build an algorithm so they can trigger on each of these characters. That's why it comes off weird, because not like you said, not each person smiles differently, and because the graphics are more realistic, it comes off weird. Yeah. So it's hard. I don't, because we're getting close to this, so it's gonna be a steep slowdown until they can go back again and they can figure this out.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't know. I know that if this were me, I don't care how weird the facial animations are, because look, Horizon is not above sin on this one either, because some of those side quest facial animations are broke as hell.
Yeah,
like,
but at least the main missions are fine.
Yeah, the what everybody is going to see is fine. It's like passable to good, or no, it's passable to great, for that matter. But yeah, no, there was one quest where I think it might have been.
I mean, you don't have to be specific about it.
It was like one of the ones right after you leave Meridian and start heading around the second area, the more deserty area. Stumbled into a village and was talking to somebody, and like it was clear that the mouth was not even attempting to come close to what words were coming out of it. Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, it was like they were trying to say the word you, but the mouth looked like they were trying to say ah. And it wasn't like ironic old school kung fu movie bad. It was just terrible. And yeah, it was.
Yeah, but the problem is it doesn't really bothers you that much, because it's a side quest. There's not much of emotional investment in it. But let's say you're take aside. Let's say an example, and let's say your child died, and that animation happened in that moment in this very crucial place. I mean, it does take you out from the emotional investment. It comes off like funny, like your child died, it's funny because you're laughing. Like you have this weird smile on face, but you're trying to laugh. Sometimes you're trying to cry, but you have this smile, but it's not actually a smile, it's actually a sad smile. Because the animation is broke, and he's like she's crying, but she's laughing at the same time because her child died. And that's funny and takes out my emotional investment on the death of the child, and I just don't give a shit what happens to this character. So I wouldn't care about this character anymore.
Yeah.
So that's all I have to say.
Good talk. I liked it, Chris.
Do you have an airplane?
No, it's a motorcycle going down Ridge Avenue right outside my window. It's starting to turn into spring, so the Harleys are coming out. So with that,
Spring break, yo.
yeah, no, it's gonna be. Well, maybe people will actually leave the city for spring break. That would be great. With that, this has been episode 51 of the Platinum Achievement Podcast. Chris plugged us earlier. I'll plug us now. Chris is at Taporian on Twitter and Instagram. He is Frankestein, FRENKESTEIN on PS4.
Good memory.
Ragnarog on Xbox One. And I don't remember what you are on Wii U, but who really cares? You don't play
It's the same.
Ragnarog?
Yeah.
Okay. And then if Shuhei ever lets us change our names, he will be Ragnarog on PS4 because he has already claimed it. Yes, I've done my research, Chris. You can find me at infinite_rewind on PS4 and Instagram and anywhere, any social media platform I choose to be on. We could talk about vinyl, we could talk about games, we could talk about music. And then you can find both of us in the Platinum Achievement Podcast Facebook group. On Facebook, of course. Also,
Subscribe.
Chris has been running the Podcast Zone Instagram feed, and he's been doing a phenomenal job. Chris, I forgot what that is. I want to say it's PA Podcast, but I'm not positive. What is it?
It is.
It is PA Podcast? Oh, all right. Shouldn't doubt myself. And, like us on YouTube, subscribe on iTunes. We deliver decent stuff, I think. And I'm not just saying that because I'm here. I actually like what we do, and that's why I continue to have these conversations with Chris and Brian and Imran whenever they decide to wake their butts up and come on the show. Thank you again for listening. Banana and out. Local started.
Local started.
Locally started. Okay, so
The way of life is the way of fuck.
I'm trying to think about something so cheesy.
Okay, let's do a clapser.
Yeah.
Matthew.
Christopher.
All right.
That wasn't racist at all.
Nope. 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 Because we're just dumb.